by one of those Agbadorians living abroad. And this actually happened.
My president, commodification of the Naira. Commodification of the Naira. This is Ayode Shubaka Ibongoli. My president, Your Excellency, commodification of the Naira.
Yes.
Commodification of the Naira, monetary policy. Commodification of the Naira, cassava. Use cassava. 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 Commodification of the Naira for monetary policy. My president, commodification of the Naira. Commodification of the Naira. This is Ayode Shubaka Ibongoli. My president, Your Excellency, commodification of the Naira.
Yes.
Commodification of the Naira, monetary policy. Commodification of the Naira, cassava.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and the other thing. Take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps. We create our food. Abi, that's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development.
Ó ti dójú ẹ̀ sẹ́yìn. Ó ti dójú ẹ̀ sẹ́yìn.
Dojú ẹ̀ sẹ́yìn. So this issue of cassava, àgbàdo, ẹ̀wà, cassava, àgbàdo, ẹ̀wà, abi? It is serious. So it be like said they are now thinking that that is what is going to revive the Naira. I mean, it may sound like a joke, right? Even though the clowns who were making the proposal, they themselves don't believe in it. Do you understand? But I mean, cassava, Nigeria is one of the world biggest planters of cassava. Cassava alone can earn Nigeria a lot of money. It is true. But you need security to grow cassava, which these criminals don't give a damn about. Always remember that. You see that petrol? Oh, sorry, crude oil, gas. They are just like natural cash there if you manage them very well. You can build paradise on earth with the resources if they are well used. But there are many other things that are not just only eco-friendly, right? But they are more profitable. More profitable than crude oil. Especially for a country like Nigeria that has the best weather, the best soil to grow anything and everything. But you can't if there is no security. In Nigeria, if there is actually truth that they wanted to use cassava to commodify Naira, which is not going to happen, by the way, right? you would have seen them right now building different, a special prison, underground cell, everything that can take in at least 30,000 inmates. Built that like Guantanamo inside Sambisa Forest. You know, when terrorists take over Sambisa Forest, for example, if Sambisa Forest became so popular, so when they are talking about the insecurity of Nigeria, the Sambisa Forest of part of Nigeria is always in red, because that is where all of the terrorists you want to think about in Africa, they are there. Because the Sambisa Forest is not just cutting across Nigeria, it also cut across at least 3 different countries too, including Niger. So how about you go there and you start building your prison where you go kill all of them inside that place? Those ones, now when those ones see how they are like using the meat machine to grind their fellow terrorists. So Sambisa Forest can receive, you can take the fear to them before they come to your country. I'm just saying, if not me, if I be your president, that is designed to tell you that I mean business. Without security, without peace, there is nobody that can do anything, anywhere. And Nigeria has been under this. And it has been made worse by this APC, that imported Fulani terrorists from across Africa to be killing Nigerians. Do you understand? But there is no move. They are doing meeting with terrorists. They said bandits are now meeting with the federal government of Nigeria under Kolu, which means you will never have anything to motivate you to go and invest your money in any agriculture. No way. They themselves invested, Nigeria invested, listen to this one. Nigeria invested 2.4 trillion naira in agriculture, and the money was a loan. They took the loan from Africa Development Bank, AFDB. Where Akinwumi Adesina, the former Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria, has been their president for a while. It is also a political position, by the way. And the guy had to give Bokwari the money so that Nigeria can continue to sign his endorsement for that position. 2.4 trillion naira. At last, they put up price pyramid in Abuja. After you saw the picture, that was it. A lot of you were looking at the picture and possibly your bellies. They were kind of filling up. Abi, out of the whole charade, Nigeria lost 2.4 trillion naira towards that business because of insecurity. You know why? Some of the areas, because Bokwari had a policy. That policy was that anything they want to do, it must start from the northern Nigeria first. If it is a technological whatever idea, they must start from the north. Go and pick anybody you can see from the north. If it is a charity the charity organizations coming to Nigeria, they must go to the north first if they want the government to give them their license to operate. It was his policy. If his government is going to share money to the poor people, it must start from northern Nigeria. That is where the poorest people are. If his government is going to give scholarship to people in Nigeria, it must start from northern Nigeria. It was his policy. Therefore, the chunk of the 2.4 trillion naira was invested in northern Nigeria. They were growing rice. When it was time for harvesting, that was when the terrorists moved from Sambisa and they took over all of the communities. They arrested all of the farmers. So for the farmers to remain alive, if they want to remain alive, they need to continue to work on those farms, supposed government farms, with government money, government fertilizer, borrowed money that will have to be paid back. And Nigeria, who invested such money, did not give a damn to the security of that area. They didn't worry about the investment. To them, na Nigeria money, it no matter. Yeah, go and put on there. It was the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP, they were now the ones harvesting the Nigerian farms. The ones they borrowed money to build. Now, Tinubu and gang, how can they cassavalize the Naira then? When you can tell they are following the same pattern of Bokwari. Do you know that this Tinubu have already, according to him, he has already prepared 50,000 hectares of land. 50,000 though. Here you get. We don't know where the 50,000 acres of land are. I have no idea. We are waiting for him to announce it. He said he's going to share it, okay, to the Fulani terrorists so that they can start using them as ranches in order to stop the farmers' others clashes. The same one that Bokwari was pushing. I know some of you probably, you are not paying attention now. Until one morning, you go see breaking news. Or your state, Ogun State, they have taken 1,000 acres from your land. Or they have taken 2,000. Kenikon State, they have taken this. Because according to Kolu, they have reserved 500 billion naira that they want to give to farmers in order to operate farm ranches, okay, so that they can stop farmers' others clashes. I just thought, I mean, my mind just went to that one right now. I don't know if you all remember that. They publicly announced it. No security. There is nothing that you can commodify when you finish lying to yourselves, right? Then just maybe you can begin to listen to yourself. I mean, listen to the truth. These guys are chancers, opportunists. You don't get it. And if you don't get it, just forget about it. Okay? So now, going forward, I am going to take you to the issue of a court or no court now. All right? Because this issue of Tinubu hiring lawyers, putting up 3 appeals in just less than 1 week, trying to stop people from, trying to stop the Chicago State University from releasing its own record. Don't release my gender. Don't release my manuscript. Don't release my transcript, rather. Or you can release my certificate, the fake one. I'm going to come to that. But let's kind of, take a detour. Do you know that America denied me their visa this month? You remember I was talking about going to the US if I have their visa and all of that. It's my fault, oh. It's my fault, oh, but not without some level of the usual green passport. I'm not British. I'm only UK resident, okay? Which gives me every other legal cover, whatever. So, to me, if after the system that colonized my people, all right, the country that colonized my own people, forced me to be speaking English language, could subject me to different kind of scrutiny test, this or that, before I could be allowed legally to live in the country and work, right? So at that point, I just felt like, I don't think I would want to be in the face of any other embassy or any country or wherever, or even at their own border, yeah, where I will be sort of treated just as my my own country has been sort of blacklisted or put under a sort of standard that before we can see you better for anything or qualify for anything, we have to naked you, check everything. So I'll tell you my story. I was going to go to the US for my brother's 60th birthday, very significant birthday for him. And it was going to be in October. So to me, I was like, okay, where is the US Embassy website? Here you get. So I went on there. I checked how much is it going to be and all of that. And I checked, what do you even need to give me your visa? Because I'm just coming there for maybe a few days and I'm going to be back. So to me, that nonchalant attitude way of, Shibina, I just won't go there. Go, if they don't want me to come, then so be it. I'm not somebody who actually fancy just being everywhere anyway, even though I would love to. Something I've not done. Anyway, I just approached it with that nonchalant way of, what do you want? Show your residence card that you are living in the UK. Show that you have a job that you can sponsor yourself. Those ones are easy. I make good money. Seriously, I actually make good money. To an average person, who can say, oh, you live in the UK. I make very good money for that standard. Not so much, but standard. I could get whatever I want, whenever I want. Sure, you get. So I was like, that's easy. Then show something like show the proof that you are going to come back to the UK. I was like, I have been living in the UK for over 11 years. I've got my family here. Why would I go to America and then I have to convince you that I'm going to come back here? So to me, I was like, fuck it. Instead of me to actually do what you would normally do when you want to get a visa from anywhere or anywhere's visa. So I got to their embassy in London. Now, at their embassy, I was already like, the way it was being done, you know, they're like people waiting and then, passing you here and there and then moving here. I was already being irritated. Like, oh, no, fuck. Damn it. And there were so many people. So at a point, I felt like, I told my uncle, I said, at a point, I felt like I was going to tell the lady that, can you please give me my passport back? I'm no longer interested. Can I have my stuff back? Because I'm actually still going back to Scotland and I'm going to drive to Scotland. Right? I was told this whole thing is going to last 30 minutes. I've been here for like 4 or 5 hours. Like, kilo happen, go. Like, waiting did that America, go. Like, you know that feeling of person when they live for UK. Like, waiting did that your America, go now. So when I was about to go and ask, this lady called me and she could tell. Everybody could tell that I was raging. Now, to cut the long story short, I got to the front of the person who was going to interview me. Like, I was expecting some little chitty-chatty, whatever. What do you want to go and do? I was just going to America for my brother's, my uncle's birthday. Everybody's going to be there, so I just thought I should. And I want to. Right? At that point, Mr. Don't they think, say, I don't even get invitation. I don't even get the invitation card, the one that they will print and say, welcome to my 60th birthday stuff. Yeah, I didn't have anything. I didn't have the copy of his passport. He's an American, right? He's watching me right now, possibly. I didn't have all of that because I didn't think they matter or they kind of like, why should I prove so much? I forgot that I was holding Nigeria passports and I'm still holding Nigeria passports. You know that thing? There is always that point of reality that will tell you that this thing that you are holding and the failure of the criminals in Nigeria, it no matter where you are or where you are living, you go still collect. So I got to the front of this guy and I was just there like, man, what? And then I gave him he said, can I have your document? And I gave him that. Then he opened and I immediately saw Nigeria passports. I saw his countenance changed. I saw that. And I told my uncle, I said, I saw his countenance changed. Imagine somebody denying me American visa because he's not convinced that I'm going to come back to the UK. Imagine that. His countenance changed. And he started asking me questions about how did you get to this country? When did you get to the UK? How did you enter UK? I mean, how did you get your papers? When did you get your papers? Oh, do you have a family? Oh, yeah. Oh, when I said, oh, I've got my family here. I've got 2 kids. And he was so surprised, like, oh, you have 2 kids. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like something. Okay. And do you have any relationship with the kids? I was like, at that point, you know me, I done the boy before. At that point, I was just like, should I just tell him that, Alaye, you the crazy? I live with my family, I live with my kids and all of that. What are you asking? What do you want to know? I had to bring up my phone. I was like, that's my son. Look at that. That's my daughter. At that point, he was now pretty much like, okay, I will need to go and verify this, because I'm not sure. Because I'm a Nigerian. I could tell. It was so easy. Then, he was supposed to deny me there. Sure, if you go to American embassy, right, for visa, once you are interviewed, they have to deny you or approve you right there on the counter. The way they said, we will have to get back to you. And he gave me my passport, but I was like, come on, you need to give me a slip that you have refused me. He was like, no, I have not. I have not refused you. I have not. We'll get back to you if we need any other documents and all that. I was like, immediately I got out of the place, I was like, God damn it, man. Why do I really put myself through all of this? Why did I want to even go to America again, Seth? You know, remember I really wanted to go. So it was later my uncle was like, you shouldn't have just go there alone. You shouldn't have. In fact, you didn't even ask me for some of these so. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it that way. Then he started telling me that, you shouldn't have, you should have. I mean, I would probably want you to come with your family. They will treat you better if they see your family, if they see your children, if they see all of their British passports. What does that tell you? What should that tell you? That I have to prove extra and extra because of where I come from. I have to show to the rest of the world that I am different and I am legit. Not because I have done anything wrong, not because I have any criminal record, okay? I have never been kind of tried or arrested for any single crime in this country. I have no record of that. But because I am carrying Nigerian passports, it doesn't matter. He probably was looking at my own residence card. My BRP card as maybe it's fake. Oh, maybe I didn't probably have a family. Maybe I didn't even have any relationship with it. Maybe because I'm in Nigeria, maybe I'm actually lying. Then we started feeling like, maybe they wanted to go and confirm from the home office. Can you imagine that? Because I'm a Nigerian and I didn't go there with my family, where they can see the family and be like, he has a family. Oh, they look like they love themselves. Oh, okay, maybe he's going to come back to the UK. Really? Now I just read it today that Nigeria passport has been further devalued. And now you're going to have to face a lot of questions if you are traveling with Nigeria passports. I didn't do anything. You probably didn't do anything too. But look at where we come from. Look at what they are condoning. Look at what they are normalizing. Look at how much of those things that all of us are complaining about, but somehow, we would have to live with that stigma. And somebody said, we are talking too much. No. You know what they say? In Yoruba, they said that dance starts from first kind of, shaking your body little by little until it becomes a rhythmic one that you start dancing and all of that. People need to understand what damages these guys are actually doing to the rest of us. Do you understand? Somebody said they kind of got screened at an holiday destination. He said he's an American. He's Nigerian living in the US with the American green card or resident card. I don't know what you call it in the US. And he got to his destination. That's not the first time. And they have to kind of pull him aside and they said, I'm so sorry that you have to go through all of that, okay? It's because you are from Nigeria and your country in this place has been tagged as a narco state. Nigeria is number 6 in the world of the countries with highest rate of organized crime. The rest of the world sees Nigeria as a place where criminals really hold a lot of influence and can be anything and everything, including the president of the country. And if the people of the country are comfortable with that, they are not on the street actually like chasing this criminal out. The rest of the world, are you with me? We treat the rest of us exactly how we should be treated. Singapore has the best passport in the world. If you are a Singaporean holding the Singaporean passports, you are mostly regarded, highly respected. Do you know why? In Singapore, na death sentence for drug smugglers, drug dealers. In Nigeria, they are state governors and presidents, ministers, senators, and lawmakers. So you see the difference when you're holding Singaporean passports and you are holding Nigerian passports. Do you see why it's not because Singapore is so rich. It is what the country present themselves to be as to the rest of the world is how the world is treating them. Today, you are celebrating rogues. You are celebrating drug dealers. You are celebrating money launderers. You are celebrating career criminals as achievers, as leaders, because in your own world, nobody is a saint. Abi? Is that not your common word? Who is a saint? Nobody is a saint. Therefore, you can publicly, globally, promote known drug barons, criminals. I mean, Burujika Shamu became a senator in Nigeria. Have you forgotten? Eshoji Nodu, Burujika Shamu, Tifnumbu, the one that is claiming to be Adekunle now. So when the rest of the world treats us the way they treat us, don't blame them. Just look at ourselves and the things we tolerate. Maybe when we actually have the number of people that will resist and never want this to continue. We don't have the number yet. A lot of people knows that something is wrong. A lot is wrong, okay? But we don't have the number of people who are convinced enough that to change it, nobody is coming to change it. There is no invisible supreme being coming to change anything. The day they have that premonition, they have that conviction that except they act, nothing is going to change. When we have that majority, all right? That is when these criminals are going to stop giving Nigeria that name. And maybe, just maybe, when we are done with them, we'll bury the name Nigeria with these criminals. It wasn't our own choosing anyway, was it? It was never our own choosing. No. Now, the battle over sovereignty, over legitimacy, where Kolu is fighting tooth and nail, and there are those who are also kind of defending that, saying, what does that matter? We know that none of this expose or all these revelations are going to mean anything in Nigeria. The country where criminals are in charge, we know. But for posterity's sake, we would like to continue to give them the rope of truth that they will use to hang themselves. Right? Before I go any further, I want to take you to the big bad conversation around why is Kolu so desperate enough not to let the school or these people release all his data, including, do you know, they said, you have heard about the FBI data that is going to be released next month, 2,500 documents on Tifnumbu. Guess what? These agencies in America, they actually said they have over 70,000 documents on Tifnumbu, Kilode, Pablo Escobar, the original Pablo Escobar. Not this one, no, Pablo Escobar, too. You see, the original Pablo Escobar. In America, they have about 30,000 record of his drug dealing, money laundering, assassination, jailing, and all those things on him. Tifnumbu, they have 70,000. They just want to release 2,500 of them first. But would that change anything in a criminalized Nigeria? A country where the judiciary is compromised by criminals? The country where all the institutions that are supposed to uphold the rule of law, they have already been compromised. Would any of this matter there? They won't. But guess what? Like I said, truth is just a rope that you give to those who are living in denial. Take this rope, take this truth, hang yourself with it, or drop it, drop your lies. And that's exactly. And in David Undenyi's sort of summary, he put it more like subtly, as they would say, like this way. One sec.
Thank you.
Hang on. I mean, yeah.
Because, as I said, the existing case, which has just been ruled on, was already enough of a game changer. There was enough. I mean, how much evidence do you want? It wasn't this, it was that. It wasn't that, it was the other one. And they found, I won't even say they found ways to strike down each one, because they didn't even bother to find ways to actually strike down each one. They just came and told a bunch of lies, found some silly technicalities. So, for example, with regard to his perjury charge and the fact that he didn't indicate that he had Guinean citizenship on his form E9, they just came out and said, well, even though, yes, whether he has Guinean citizenship or not, which constitutes perjury, doesn't matter because the proof of Guinean passport wasn't filed in some way or something. So in other words, yes, we have this evidence that he committed perjury, and we accepted it as evidence in court. But the way he filed it, there is some procedural issue, so we've tried to throw it out. So if Atiku likes, and if Obi likes, they can get a written injunction from Jehovah God in heaven, written in celestial ink, to carry their role, stating Bola Tinubu is a drug criminal and committed perjury. Carry their role will find a way to say that God did not file this thing properly. So God's petition is struck out. That's what will happen. Like, let's not kid ourselves about this. But the reason I'm looking forward to the Supreme Court's hearing is that I want to see Kayode Ariwoola himself look himself in the eye and overrule the forfeiture, the ruling on what forfeiture is, which he delivered in 2014. I want to see him say that even though this legal precedent which I created in 2014 exists, I'm going to overrule myself and say that I was talking nonsense and that this is a new rule which I've made up on the fly. I want to see him do that, because the minute that happens and that is captured on camera, that's the minute that I think that's the minute Nigerians finally will stop taking these people serious and will finally realize that it's time to tear this whole thing apart. It's time to find a new way of doing things. That these people who are supposed to be constituted authority, these people who are supposed to be in the system, they are just common criminals. And there's no point respecting them as anything other than just common criminals. So that's actually what.
Do you get that? In Nigeria, according to their law, if you submit any fake documents, that is perjury. You have perjured yourself. Number one, you have to be disqualified. But it is Nigeria. These are criminals. Like David said, they will find a way around and said it doesn't matter. Okay? And the rest of you would have either take it or you leave it. No wonder they are hunting him. And I'm happy. After this hunger, United Nations General Assembly meeting, stuff, they still add other programs after that, okay? And it is called the United Nations Human Rights Commission, I don't know, maybe Human Rights something. So they invited David, who is now being hunted by Kolu, the Jaga Banditi. And here is what David had to tell them. We are now facing the civilian dictators, especially in Nigeria. Nigerians are now facing a full-time dictatorship. Before I play you that video of David, may I tell you something? Yesterday, a lawyer, a lawyer who followed his own client to the Dokpemu Stupid Service, the DSS. Do you know what happened? They said while they were waiting at the reception for the DSS to invite them so that they can talk to them, whatever is crime, whatever it is, they want him. You know what I mean? As usual, your lawyer is there. Now, he said at a point, the DSS came and they said the guy should come and follow them. And he was like, he prepared to follow them and they told him, no, sit down here. And he was like, if you are taking him for interrogation, the law approves that I have to be here and beside him because I'm his lawyer, and which is normal. They said, no, sit down here. And he was like, if that is the case, then you can't take him because the law says I have to be there. Abi, this happened yesterday to a lawyer. And they said the guy left and they came back again and they said, listen, this is not your court, this is not your law, whatever, okay? Sit down there and we are taking him. So when they took him and he tried to fight them, some of them beat him blue black. After beating him, they now took him to the underground cell and they locked him up. A lawyer. So when they finally released him, do you know where he went to? Social media to complain. No court. He said this happened and I'm going to take it up. And everybody started reacting. Are you not alive? Who are those of you studying law in Nigeria, a lawless country? You will not see they study law. You are watching me right now. You want to be a lawyer in Nigeria. Continue to deceive yourself, okay? You want to be a lawyer in a lawless country. A country where the criminals are in charge. They choose which of the law to obey. You can't go school, they pay them money to study law in a lawless country. It's okay, they play. By the time they release the lawyer from the underground cell, I bet he will never go back to that place and say he's representing any client. He said he told them, what you are doing is lawless. And I will do my best to report you to the highest authority, including the president. I say, or Delileisha. We are the president's boys. We will kill you here and nothing will happen. They told the lawyer, we will kill you inside this place and nothing will happen. You the crazy, Abi? You're talking democracy and law. Who are you talking to in this place? Because that is exactly what Nigeria is. And then David is being hunted. Money is being paid. Private jet is being sent so that he can be extradited to Nigeria illegally, tortured, and even killed. Well, he had a chance of telling the world, just the same way he's been saying, if anything happened to me, hold Tinubu responsible. It won't be his first, probably it won't be his last as well, but we must make sure nothing happened to David. Like, nothing must happen to him. If I say that, you should know where I'm coming from. There are so many reasons for Nigeria to burn down, okay? And if they add this to it, well. David.
I now give the floor to Vivat International.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak at the 54th session of the UN Human Rights Council. As an investigative journalist from Nigeria, my work primarily focuses on advancing transparency and accountability in government. I have repeatedly used my journalistic platform to expose and publicize malfeasance and criminal behavior by powerful people in Nigeria, most recently the new Nigerian president, Bola Tinubu, an individual whose FBI file of over 2,500 pages is set to be released publicly for the first time next month, and who has, as a matter of public record, forfeited $460,000 to the United States government, being proceeds of heroin trafficking. Due to my journalistic work, his regime has taken extraordinary steps to silence me, including a recent attempted abduction from Ghana where I have political asylum. The Tinubu regime is currently trying to prevail on Ghana, which historically is a close ally of Nigeria, to violate the non-refoulement principle and have me return to Nigeria, where I would almost certainly face imprisonment, torture, and extrajudicial execution. To save my life and the important work that I do, I have been forced into a semi-nomadic lifestyle, rarely sleeping in one place for a prolonged period of time. In fact, it is from one of these temporary locations that I'm filming this message. Now, under Article 19 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, freedom of expression is a fundamental human right. And as a journalist, I must be able to do my work without living in fear or living on the run, simply because I'm doing my job. Thank you.
I'm happy. That's on record. Yeah, it's on record. He told them, not because they have anything to do. No, it's not always about what, like, you see, sometimes when you listen to some of us who actually speaks out, right? We just want a lot of you to hear and know and not come out later and pretend that, oh my God, when was that? Oh, that's surprising. How did that happen? So you won't continue to feign ignorance. Trust me, I love that. It's on record. Because the work of David is causing serious rancor everywhere. And Tinubu said nightmare. Tinubu said dilemma. Tinubu's karma is what David Undeyin has become. And no matter how much the Lagos Abobakus, the ass lickers, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the all-risers, there's no amount of whatever this dark PR will actually change what is facts to fiction without actually creating more questions. Look at how Ruben Abati was disgracing himself inside their own studio. I'm talking about Arise News or Arise Television. Some of you have seen it, right? I'm going to play it for you. And the credit is theirs, by the way. Let's go on to it.
Well, another classmate who claims to have attended the Chicago State University with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
What will make us ascertain who is who is when that document is released. And please, it's not about Atiku Abubakar. It's about the integrity of the seat of the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this is a cry for all Nigerians. It is sad enough that the president legal team has said it's going to cause him irreparable damage. I keep asking, for what irreparable damage? For your own results and transcript to be released? If you're a private citizen, nobody cares about your transcript and your result. But now you are a public citizen. You belong to us Nigerians. And we have a right to scrutinize all of your documents. And why are you hiding it? In the space of 3 days, 2 appeals against releasing the document. Now you are saying, only release the one I limited to the one I submitted to. No, the whole thing must be in public glare for accountability's sake. Isn't it sad enough that they are reporting the case on American media and we're having certificate discrepancy as regards the office of the president of Nigeria? What is going on? So President Tinubu, you claimed that you are an A-class student. You are very cerebral. We want to see your glowing academic records in your transcripts. That's all. We've had some schoolmates come out and say that they went to school with you at the same time and all of that. There's even a document circulating that somebody filed and said, oh, under oath, I was this. Let's see the glowing academic record you claim you have, pure and simple. Because this is the seat of the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria here. So when there are people that say they need a document, I think you should be wholeheartedly release it to them and the whole document so that they can see everything, not just limited it to some. Because this is getting shocking by the day. This should be a no-brainer. In fact, before now, and this is not about Atiku Abubakar. This is about the integrity of the seat of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. CSU claimed you came there. You graduated from there. So, hey, why is your school documents and credentials a problem? Why are you having 2 appeals to block them? What's going on? Waiting they happen.
Okay, 2 basic things. This is a matter of law. It's not about sentiments or emotions or personal opinion. We're dealing with 2 different jurisdictions here. And as I've pointed out before in this particular forum, there are issues in the law of international civil litigation about forum, about jurisdictions and all of that. I don't need to bore you with the details again this morning. If you look at the U.S. system, under the U.S. system, you have your right to privacy. Except that right to privacy can only be, breached in the public interest. The U.S. is not in a position, whether it's the district court of the Eastern Division or whatever division, to determine the public interest of Nigeria in this particular case. So what Tinubu's counsel have done is to simply say that, look, he has a right to privacy, which is respected in the U.S. jurisdiction. He has not said don't release the records, but he's saying, look, limit it to the diploma, which is relevant here. Because according to his counsel, what was declared in the INEC form is the diploma. So just restrict it to it. After all, I imagine that what they are saying is that it's not Atiku Abubakar that paid the school fees. So if he paid his own school fees, he is entitled, as a matter of right, to his own academic records. Okay? That's one point that is very clear. But we wait what Judge Maldonado, would decide at the end of the day. The second point here is that Tinubu's counsel are saying that Magistrate Jeffrey Gilbert erred in law by providing, giving a 48-hour ultimatum that all relevant documents and records should be released. That's the second issue before the present court, to determine. Okay? And third, Tinubu's counsel are also questioning the basis for this discovery request, or the order of mandamus requested for discovery for use in a foreign jurisdiction, which is a very important point in international law of civil litigation. And they are saying, look, it's of no moment within the Nigerian jurisdiction, because you will recall that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal had ruled that, look, Tinubu and his running mate.
I'm not going to let you get too angry listening to that dot, okay? It's part of the system. So, of course, he didn't see that part in their own law that said that if you submitted a fake document, you have committed a perjury. Then it's going about school fees. Atiku did not pay his school fees, so therefore he cannot be asking for his record and all of that. It's the typical, some of these older uncles that you have around who are either directly or indirectly for this disastrous APC, Egbekegbe, or as part of the establishment, whether on the side of the people destroying people. They have that same mentality. They will rigmarole you with all kind of nonsense. All right? And they will completely avoid the simple truth. And the simple truth is that Tinubu said he went to so and so. If somebody is asking for all of those details, you don't care about whatever they want to use it for. You know what they want to use it for, Abi? They want to use it against you. Then give it to them since you have nothing to hide. Give it to them and stop making it look so relevant. Not going about hiring people. Listen to this one. They even hired somebody.
Well, another classmate who claims to have attended the Chicago State University with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has emerged and is said to have sworn an oath attesting that he is familiar with the president. Olajide Adeniji reportedly testified at the Northern District of Illinois Court in Chicago on September 23rd that he knew and contested against Tinubu as president of the Accounting Society Club at the Department of Business Admin in the same alma mater. His testimony is coming after Durojaye Ogunsoya, a public affairs analyst, had also claimed to be Tinubu's classmate during a live television interview. Ayo Rufai, I'm sure you remember this story.
We're still
waiting for him. Yeah, but you know that this new classmate has, also elicited reactions on social media. Let me take one from Abundantly Blessed, who wrote, "This Olajide Adeniji, the recent classmate of Tinubu that just surfaced online, shouldn't have incurred these legal expenses. All he needs to do is to share his own certificate that was issued alongside Tinubu's own, and we can then compare. Why use sledgehammer on an ant?" Well, Distinguished wrote, "There is a lot to learn from Tinubu's story. Ensure that your school is or was accredited. Check your credentials and ensure that they reflect your academic discipline and the courses you took. Obtain original copies of your certificate by mail, not just a digital copy. Ensure they are signed and stamped. Connect with your former classmates and request group pictures you took. As parents, ensure that you are keeping your children's records safe. Don't dismiss misspellings. Demand a correction immediately. These points might sound funny, but it's very crucial." Rufai, we did see a group picture of Olajide, though, online.
Yeah, there's a yearbook.
There's a yearbook picture. He did put that out as well.
So all of this conundrum, I think, should be settled this week when the judge gets the other arguments from the Atiku camp and they make their decision. But we shouldn't go through this. For what it's worth, if it is now that classmates are surfacing, the question is, why didn't they surface many years ago?
Yeah, that's a group picture.
And the also question is, what about the classmates in the primary school and the secondary school and the university? Why are we having all of this? And the truth has to be said. Yes, in America, there are privacy laws, but when it becomes matter of very important national things like this, then people release a statement. And I'm going to counter an argument people have been making about Barack Obama, because I had to go and research that story.
Okay.
Barack Obama never defended his release of his school documents. And I'll tell you what happened. When the birther movement started in America, the birther movement led by Trump and people that were saying Barack Obama was not born in America, what happened was the fact that somebody from the birther movement subpoenaed Occidental College. Barack Obama spent 2 years in Occidental College before he went ahead to Columbia. Subpoenaed Occidental College, but the lady did not get her case right. Her case was very frivolous. In fact, the judge did rule that the lady should pay Occidental College $4,000 because the case was frivolous. And that was what happened. So Barack Obama, and it was around that time that the Better Movement was pushing that Barack Obama released his birth certificate to show he was born in Hawaii, because the Better Movement kept on saying that he wasn't born in Hawaii. So he wasn't born on American soil. And that was what happened. So there was no time he defended anything about, it was the Occidental College the lady was dealing with in that case. So in all of this, let's wait for the call to roll, but people should put out as much details out there, pure and simple, and let's just get to the end of all of this.
All right, Ayo.
Oh yes, very quickly. I mean, a number of people are wondering why these...
Let be poor, breathe. Don't suffocate them. We have that responsibility.
So, still pretty much on why is he putting up so much fight, and how much in cahoots and collaboration are the judiciary in Nigeria complicit? Of course, they are deep neck into it. Werewike is saddled with the responsibility of taking care of the judges. And that is why he's going to stay in Abuja with them as their FCT. Well, it was with them just yesterday, I believe, when they were launching their new year, whatever, judicial year, right? Now, the democracy in Nigeria is already dead, but it's going to be pronounced actual dead with the effort of the judiciary that is enabling all of this criminality and cementing them too, right? But with Werewike, it seems everything is still in order, or not. But here is their own opening and what you have to say to them and why they must do everything to work with them.
We are today at this special ceremony marking the commencement of the 2023-24 legal year of the Court of Appeal. Permit me to begin by extending my warmest congratulations to the President of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Monica Bolade-Domba-Menson, and all the distinguished justices of this honorable court gathered here today. While welcoming your lordships for your well-deserved vacation, let me also express my profound gratitude to God for this unique opportunity to address you for the first time in my capacity as the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. My lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the opening of a legal year is believed by some to be just an ancient tradition which dates to the Middle Ages and the practice of the justices of the court, praying for guidance in view of a start of the new year. However, I believe it is more. It is so because it affords this honorable court the opportunity to reflect on the successes and challenges in the previous year with a view to celebrating those successes and working towards providing solutions to the challenges and also projecting into the new year. Today's event is therefore not just a ceremonial milestone, it is a testament to the enduring commitment of our legal fraternity to the pursuit of justice and upholding of the rule of law. My lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that the previous legal year has been tasking and demanding due to the numerous pre-election matters which gave birth to appeals for interlocutory decisions and final decisions of the federal high courts. This year might not be different in view of the numerous pending election appeals. I commend the President of the Court of Appeal for the 9 justices that were recently sworn in by my Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria. This will undoubtedly go a long way in reducing the workload on the justices of the courts and enhancing justice delivery in the country. My lords, another legal year has come, and this year is particularly unique because, as I said, of the election appeals which I've earlier alluded to.
And then blah, 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 because I still have some to show you. Okay, so I don't want you to get kind of bored with all of that. So that's them meeting the Abuja judges and assuring them everything will be okay. Oh, welcome back from your holiday. I hope you enjoy your $35 billion 35 billion naira that we gave to you, the token. You're welcome back and you have to work with us. He went on to say, we appreciate the fact that you are helping us to uphold democracy. Sure, you get. He went on to say that. We appreciate you. I got this guy and I want to share his own conversation with you, right? And it is Kenneth Okonkwo. He was very articulate. He's very articulate in his own arguments. Now, gradually, everybody go play in role until this fraudulent demonstration of grace will collapse, all right? And the rest of us will come to that reality that Nigeria is not for us. Nigeria is not for me. Nigeria is not for you. Nigeria is not for any of us. Now, when we get to that conclusion, when their fraudulent democracy finally crashed and collapsed, and Nigeria follows, they will come to this reality.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Now, here is Kenneth, one of the obedient point men, and he's a lawyer too. I think he was in the court as well. He had this to say, and I quite agreed with him on some of those points, not everything, by the way, right? So sit back and relax, and then let's listen to this, right?
Because I saw some citation, some cases which the court was trying to cite and which they did not distinguish. In such cases, in some of them, the petitioners did not place the facts and argument in their petition, and they now came the way of purported subpoena witness to begin to amend the petition. That's what it means. But when you have averted to those facts, you are not trying to amend the petition. You're trying to substantiate it. These are two different things. Good. So my position is that if you did not make the argument, if you did not plead them, in your petition, you don't have the right to bring subpoena witnesses after 21 days. But once you have pleaded